everybody? This is Sane. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another video. Talking about something interesting. The video I just recently recorded was my description on my weird class run and why I'm doing it right before my maddening run, what things I'm going to take into maddening mode. And one thing kind of in my plan was the fact that I'm going to have a couple of Pegasus Knights. Specifically, I was going to have Shamir, Hilda, and Bernadetta as the plan. We're all going to follow the Pegasus Knight, Paladin, Falcon Knight class route. So, there's something interesting about Pegasus Knights in Fire Emblem, and that is the fact that they have something called triangle attack. Now, triangle attack has existed pretty much forever in Fire Emblem. I want to say forever in Fire Emblem. Ever since FE1. As long as you have 3 Pegasus Knights together in a certain formation, in a triangle-like formation, you can do a super powerful attack. I'm pretty sure it just like kills. Doesn't it just like outright kill? Let me see. 3 houses, my 8 hit 30, crit 40. So it doesn't outright kill, but does a lot. Oh, it actually takes a little bit HP or durability. But yeah, so a triangle attack is a super powerful attack, super kind of niche because it's kind of it's very specific to set up. But with Kanto being a thing, and with there being a lot of good units that can be flyers, and flyers being a really good class, I decided to take a look at triangle attack and kind of get an idea of what it's like in Fire Emblem 3000, and if it's something you should consider using in Maddening, because it is a really strong attack. Like a very strong attack. And it comes from mastering Pegasus Knight, which is a intermediate class, so you can get it very early on. So let's take a look at triangle attack. This is gonna be kind of sloppy, but I just want to write a couple things down. So triangle attack on Maddening, is it worth it? So triangle attack, again, it's a very strong thing to set up, and it's a very strong move, but it requires a lot of setup to do. And that is probably the first issue, I think, is that it requires a lot of setup. I'm trying to even that out a little bit more. So while it's very strong, while it's a very strong combat art, it requires 3 people to be circling one enemy. Now, I think on certain enemies, such as monsters and bosses and stuff like that, it's gonna be worth it because you can most likely get 3 people around them, especially if they're flyers. They can go on any terrain, so they can work around any terrain. But the issue is it's why would you have 3 units just sitting there? That's the main issue. Is why would you just leave 3 units just to sit there and practically do nothing? Well, with the help of Kanto, which is another very important skill that all mounted units have, you can move again after fighting. So I think while this is still niche, it's a lot easier to set up if you've got something like, let's say, Stride. So let's say you've got Stride and you want to you use Stride on like 3 people, or you use Stride on a big group of people, and a couple of people get affected. 2 of the Pegasus Knights or 2 of the flyers go and attack 2 other units, whether they kill them or not, and then they go position near this third person you're going to attack. So let's say you've got person. Let's say you've got person A, right over here. I'm going to go full screen for this. Full webcam for this. Okay, let's say you got person A right here. Here's the first enemy you want. Everyone starts kind of like down here, let's say. So you got first person here, first enemy here you're going to attack, second enemy over here, and then the person in the middle right here is who you're going to, like right on my goatee is who you're going to attack. Let's say, so you got these 3 enemies. What you could do is you could stride. So you've got one flyer that comes, and directions are hard. That one flyer that comes and kills this enemy up here, and then flies to position in the middle guy. And then you've got the second Pegasus Knight who comes over here, kills the enemy over here, and then flies to position by the third one. And then you've got the third by the middle one. Then you have the third Pegasus Knight who goes in the middle to the middle guy, sets up, is in the last position you need for the triangle attack, and then you can do the triangle attack and just OKO 'em. And that could be like, whether this unit over here gets killed and the unit over here gets killed, like whether they get killed or they don't get killed. Just it gives That's kind of an example of how the Pegasus Knights or the units, the flyers, have something to do other than just go sit in position, because you don't want them to just go sit. I mean, flyers do get alert stance plus, which is good because it's when if they just wait, if they decide to just wait a turn, they get avoidance plus 30, which is very nice, but you don't really want to be waiting a lot. You only want to really use avoidance plus 30 if you're like flying onto a bush or something and you need to avoid a lot of attacks from enemies to kind of draw people close. You don't really want to just like use it out of nowhere. So triangle attack on Maddening, it's still gonna be niche, but I feel like with Kanto and especially with something like Stride pair with it, and Dancers too, just with all the different like movement stuff you're allowed in the game, I feel like it's a lot more worth it. It's something that you can like. I wouldn't necessarily build a team around because it's specific, but something that you can just do. Like if it's set up and it's ready to go, you can just do it. So another question I was kind of looking at. This is all questions I was asking myself to really decide if this is worth it or not. Do they need to be Pegasus Knights, or can they be any class? Well, from what it sounds like, from all the reading I've seen, I'm not able to do a lot of testing right now because like I'd have to get into a game where I've got a bunch of units who are Pegasus Knights and stuff, and I don't have a file that's there. I'm not like there, so I can't really do a lot of testing right now. So this is all kind of just like going off of what I hear and going off of word of mouth. But what can happen is, it sounds like there just needs to be one person with triangle attack. The person who uses the triangle attack, the Pegasus Knight who uses the combat art triangle attack, is the only one who needs that combat art. And the other two who set up the triangle, just need to be flyers. Meaning, and yeah, they just need to be a flyer class. And so that means they don't just have to be a Pegasus Knight or a Falcon Knight. They could be a Wyvern Rider or Wyvern Lord. They could be a Dark Flyer. Or maybe, just maybe, they could be Claude. So you've got a lot of options to sell the triangle attack. Now, again, this is just word of mouth. I'm not going to say 100% certain that Claude can be in it, that Wyvern Lords can be in it. Right now, of course, it's Pegasus Knights, but from everything that I've heard and everything that I've read and what it sounds like it can be any flyers. As long as they're flyers. As long as you've got the one Pegasus Knight who's got triangle attack. So now I want to talk about who who should be a Pegasus Knight. It's flyers are good classes, but like why would you be a Pegasus Knight over a Wyvern Lord? Why would you have a Pegasus Knight on your team? And the reason I think, in my personal opinion at least, the takeaway of Pegasus Knight over Wyvern Lord is mainly for swords, honestly. I feel like if you're a flyer but you want to use swords, that's when you'd be a Pegasus Knight, not really a Wyvern Lord, and you focus more on speed and avoidance rather than your raw strength and raw killing power. So you're kind of going for a more dodge tank type role, because you can get a lot of stuff with sword avoid, you can get a lot more avoidance, I feel like, with Pegasus Knight, also just because the speed growth is a lot higher on Pegasus Knight than it is for Wyvern Lord. So if you want somebody who is a good dodge tank, I feel like that's who your main choice for a Pegasus Knight is, and then they can have triangle attack. And I want to get a couple examples of notable Pegasus Knights. Ingrid is very well known to be a really good Pegasus Knight. Ingrid with her sword, lance, flying, proficiencies, all this stuff. Yeah, she looks like she's either supposed to be a paladin or a Pegasus Knight, and it's better to be a Pegasus Knight if you can be. She's even canon a Pegasus Knight, so. Okay, she's got a really high skill speed. skill speed. What did I just say? Speed skill, speed growth. She got really high speed growth. And you add on swords to that. You add on Sword Avoid if you've made her a dancer, if you make her a dancer. You add on, let's say, Duelist Blow from Trickster. And then you add on the Avoid plus 20 from just being a flyer class. Let's see. Avoid plus 10 for being a Pegasus Knight. Avoid plus 20 for being a Falcon Knight. Oh, Avoid plus 10. Okay, so you got the Avoid plus 10. You've got Sword Avoid. You've got Duelist Blow. For if you master Trickster class, which I think is worth it for a lot of dodge tanks, because you get plus 20 avoid if you initiate combat. You've got Darting Blow from being a Pegasus Knight. You've also got Sword Fair, which you can throw on, which I believe has avoid in it. I want to say like 90% sure it's avoid. That's combat arts. Skills. Skills. What's the skills? Where is my sword prowess? Oh, it's literally right there. Yeah, so you get avoid from that too. Avoid plus 20. So you get plus 20 avoid from prowess, plus 10 from being a Pegasus Knight. You get another plus 20 or another is it plus 20? Yeah, another plus 20 from Duelist Blow. Another plus 20 if you have alert, or plus 30 from alert stance, and then another attack speed increase. Attack speed plus 6 during combat. So you've got a lot of dodge tank ability if you do some builds. So yeah, you've got characters like Ingrid, usually characters who have really high, like female characters who've got really high speed, who like using swords. They couldn't use lances, but swords is probably going to be the better dodge weapon. So I think characters like Ingrid, I think characters like Petra could definitely do that. You could do Ingrid, you can do Petra, you can do Bernadetta as a Pegasus Knight too, and really go with Vengeance and go with Pass and make her more of like a sweeper killer running back and forth. She could be a good one. You can use Byleth for that same kind of sword avoid, female Byleth. You can use Hilda and Shamir as two other Pegasus Knights who are kind of more what Bernadetta is, maybe more aggressive in your face, like frontliner Pegasus Knights. You could use somebody like maybe Catherine as one of those sword avoid ones. You could also use Manuela for one of those sword avoid ones. Stuff like that. So that's kind of who would fill the Pegasus Knight role on your team. Someone like Byleth, Ingrid. You could put Leone there. I guess I think she'd probably be better with like a bow or a lance personally. And so you can have a full like a forward frontliner Pegasus Knight. Someone like Hilda. Someone like uh, Bernadetta. Someone like Leone, Shamir. Or you can have someone like Ingrid. Ingrid, Byleth, or Petra, who's like your super sword avoid dodge tanky one. And that actually helps them. Triangle attack helps them with since swords don't have a lot of might, you've got a really strong combat art and triangle attack to really help that out. And then other flyers who can help you like get the triangle attack off are other characters like, let's say, Wyvern Lord Hilda. And that's a good one. Wyvern Lord Hilda, Wyvern Lord Petra, Wyvern Lord Sylvain, Wyvern Lord Felix, Wyvern Lord Ferdinand, Wyvern Lord Edelgard, Wyvern Lord Pegasus Knight, Wyvern Lord Pegasus Knight. You could actually do Pegasus Knight. Edelgard probably not, but you know Wyvern Lord. Wyvern Lord can be a good Pegasus Knight, or Wyvern Lord, or Pegasus Knight. Wyvern Lord, maybe. Wyvern Lord. Dark Flyer. Pegasus Knight. Arya Barbarossa. Probably wouldn't do anything like that. Dark Flyer, Dark Flyer, Wyvern Lord, Pegasus Knight, or Wyvern Lord, Wyvern Lord, Pegasus Knight, Dark Flyer, Pegasus Knight, Dark Flyer, Pegasus Knight, Pegasus Knight, Wyvern Lord, Wyvern Lord, Wyvern Lord, Wyvern Lord. Not quite the Wyvern Lord. Not quite a Wyvern Lord. Dark Flyer. Is she a Dark Flyer? I can't remember. I can't remember. Dark Flyer. Look how many options you've got to be 2 of the 3 flying units. A lot. Easy. Have 1 flying unit be a Pegasus Knight, which isn't hard. Female Byleth. In my Maddening run, I'm actually going to try to use Triangle Attack when I can, and I've got female Byleth as a Pegasus Knight, so she's going to be my Triangle Attacker. I've got Claude as a flying unit. I've got Hilda as a flying unit. I'm going to have... who am I going to have? Violet's going to be flying. Claude's going to be flying. Hilda's going to be flying. Leonie might go into Pegasus Knight so she can fly, and she can also have Triangle Attack. Lysithea can go into Dark Flyer so she can fly. Marianne's going to be a Dark Flyer so she can fly. Sylvain's going to be on the ground. Felix is going to be on the ground. Yuri's going to be on the ground. Balthus is going to be on the ground. So I've got like 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, potentially 5, potentially 6. 4 to 6 flying units that are either going to be a flying unit or they're going to change into a class that can be a flying unit. Like I can multi-class. I can, get them into a class for them to fly into. Turn them into a flying class. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyways, Triangle Attack can work. It can work in Maddening. I think as long as you really pair it with something like Stride like that's my prime example of what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna put Stride on someone like Ignatz. I can stride him at the very beginning of the match, and I can send in Hilda, go kill somebody. Claude, go snipe somebody, and then fly back. Hilda, fly back. Byleth, go triangle attack them, and then fly forward onto a tree and get your alert stance ready, or get your dodging ability ready. Stuff like that. It's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna actually work out really well. It's just gonna be a nice, strong combat art for my sword user. So yeah, that's kind of my little rundown of triangle attack. I just want to get some thoughts on. I really want to brainstorm this because it's something I kind of brought up a little bit, like very, very like sprinkled on my last video, and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this. I want to look at this a little bit more. So that's kind of my rundown of triangle attack. Is it worth it? On Maddening. On normal and hard difficulty, you can pretty much get away with anything, so absolutely. On Maddening, I think kinda. I don't think you're ever going to get punished for having a Pegasus Knight who has triangle attack. Like, it's never going to get punished. I mean, maybe it's a situational combat art, so maybe it's better to have something like Tempest Lance on as your on your Pegasus Knight, or maybe have Wrath, Bane of Monsters, something else. You can have another combat art on your Pegasus Knight. It takes up 1 of 3 combat art slots, but I think personally it's a really strong one. It gives like most Pegasus Knights usually don't have crazy strength anyways, so I think it's a nice combat art with a lot of might, with a lot of crit. Oh yeah, it's crit based. It gives you a lot of crit too, so you can just your Byleth can go crit something. So yeah, I think it's absolutely, I feel like it's something that's just gonna fit into your team pretty much. Because I feel like getting 3 flyers is easy. Or you pretty much always. I feel like you want like 2 at least, 2 flyers, and instead of using 2 Wyvern Lords, make 1 a Pegasus Knight. Use somebody as a Pegasus Knight. Ingrid, Petra. Maybe instead of using Petra as a Wyvern Lord, you're going to use her as a sword using Pegasus Knight. Something like that. Bernadetta. Something. I feel like there's so many options. There's so many options for this because there's so many flying units. Because Dark Flyer really opens up a lot of different flying units for like Lysithea, Marianne. Flane and Manuela, stuff like that. Constance, Happy. So there's gonna be plenty of characters in the sky. And if you're on Golden Deer, especially with Claude, you've already got another flyer. So you're definitely gonna have people in the sky. And so I think if you find the situations, I think especially with something like Stride, I think especially with something like just a dancer, just Stride, Canto, and dancing. I think those are the three tools you really need to make it work, and it can pull off. And it's a really strong attack, and it can help you take down really scary enemies, which is a thing in Maddening. So I think like Maddening end game, like Maddening middle game to end game is when it's going to be useful. Again, not the best combat art, not the most useful thing in the game, but it's nice. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be really fun. So is triangle attack worth it? I say yes, but only because it fits on your team naturally. If you find yourself having to build your team around it, then I say don't worry about it. It's not that worth it. Don't build a team around it. Let it fit on your team. Just let a Pegasus Knight have it if you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, hey, do whatever you want. It's Fire Emblem Three Houses. You can do whatever you want. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I plan to talk about my Maddening team actually, and talk about kind of the builds I'm gonna be doing with them. I've been thinking about my skill sets a lot too, taking my class routes and everything. I'm really planning out this Maddening run. I'm really excited for. I'm gonna record the whole series and put it on YouTube. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I'm really excited for that. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Once I get my capture card, I'll start recording that stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Comment down if you like this kind of simple layout for now. This is very choppy, I know, but I'm just trying to play with my layouts a little bit more, especially when I'm doing stuff like this where I'm kind of theory crafting on the screen. I'm talking to the screen. Let me know what you think about it. But yeah, have a good one, guys. See you in the next video. I'll catch you then.